What is that? 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 What up, it's your boy Dvrth back at it again for another video, and today we are here with Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 21. Last episode we had what I am going... I've sat on this for a bit, and I think I can safely say it is probably the best episode of Attack on Titan that we have ever got, simply because of how much it brought everything back together. The reveals, the twist at the end was one of the best twists, even if I kind of saw it coming, and I kind of like always knew in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, Aaron's the villain. But that was one of the most well executed twists, I'll say, that I've ever seen, ever, pretty much. It was just Jesus Christ. If you didn't think that Attack on Titan was a masterpiece already, yeah, that last episode did it. Absolutely bombshell of an episode. I'm so excited to see what happens next. However, I am also a little bit scared of what happens next. The reason being is because now that Aaron is like on his like villain shit, which we technically still, there's a lot of nuance to that, and I don't want to outright call him a villain, but like, for lack of a better term and just to keep things simple, now that Aaron's on his villain shit, really heinous things are about to happen here. And when I say heinous, I mean like, I'm talking rumbling, I'm talking like Aaron's definitely not dead yet. He's not dead. He did get his head shot off, but I'm expecting him to like pretty much, as soon as he gets out of the Yggdrasil Titan realm thing, he is probably going to transform immediately. And whatever we're about to, like, whatever heinous shit we're about to see, I don't think I'm 100% ready for it. I don't think anybody is. So we're gonna hop straight into it. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more Attack on Titan or something totally different, the best place to send that in is always my social media. Link's gonna be in the description, or you could comment below. That's cool too. I'm okay with that. And if you want the full reaction to these episodes, that'll be on my Patreon, as well as we have other shows, JoJo, Full Metal Alchemist, Megalobox, Hunter x Hunter. Got a bunch of stuff on there as well. You know, shout out to the patrons. Y'all are great, bro. Y'all are actually insane. So with all that out the way, let's get our headphones, make sure they're on, them bitches is on, and let's just get into it. We've never seen the actual fight, now that I think about it, so this is good. Big up! Oh my god, yo, he was beating her ass. Nice. Poor Grisha, dude. Oh, he ate that girl. Oh my. God, you really have to drive it home what kind of treachery Grisha had to do. God, this scene, the voice acting, the animation, Mappa was popping the fuck off with this. Oh, Zeke, please stop Aaron. Aaron! Oh. Oh my god, Zeke's realizing. Zeke's realizing. But Aaron himself wanted to brainwash Grisha. He couldn't have done that by showing him everything. Damn. Damn! He played you! I don't think. Oh shit. Aaron's fighting though. Oh, oh. What? Oh my god. See, but here's the thing. When Grisha said, from here on out, what Aaron does is horrible. I believe that, man. From you, 2000. Yeah, Aaron won. Aaron, it's over, dog. Aaron won. Aaron won. There's no winning. Oh my god. Other people because she. Oh my god. This is Ymir. This is the story of Ymir. Full of pain and suffering. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Whoa. Somebody fesses up every and I. Jesus Christ. They all fucking said it was her? Fucked up. Wow. That's what we on? Free. Oh my god. Good fucking lord, man. Ah! Oh. What the fuck? Is this where she meets the devil? What is the... Do we get to see what it is? Because if we're going through the story of Ymir, do we get to see what or who the devil is? Wait, but Aaron's going towards Ymir right now. If he's transcending... No, hold on. Aaron is going towards Ymir right now. If he's transcending... Is that a... What the fuck? What the fuck? What the... Was that... Hold on. Oh my... My tribe, Eldia, has grown quite... Wow. Whoa, no. And she has 9, correct? Holy fuck. Yep, she has 9. They were actual children. Oh my god. This is not the episode I expected. This is not the episode I expected. What the fuck? Yo! Oh fuck! No way, bro! Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh my god. They ate Oh, fuck. Bear children and multiply. His blood must be passed on. Their spines to their grandchildren. They die. Feed their spines. Holy fuck. This is literally just the tale of the ultimate slave. And she's creating the Titans. I'm guessing that's the Colossal. Even after I pass, LD will dominate. Oh my god, she created all of them. I'll put it into this world. Oh my god, you just... This is about to end very badly. You've been waiting. Oh my god. She called to him. Oh, she's back. She's got life in her eyes. This is it. What the fuck? It's the... Okay, this thing we gotta talk about for... What? Holy fuck! This thing we gotta talk about for real. Whoa. Oh! Oh no! This thing! We gotta... What? It's it! It's... What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? What 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 is that? We won! What? Whoa! 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 Holy fuck! He's doing it all! He's destroying it! Holy Whoa! What? Oh my god! The goal is to protect the... He just wants it all. This is it. Fuck. When I saw to every... He's doing it. Every inch of the world beyond. I knew that would be his. He's just destroying everything. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! Yo! Oh my... How the fuck am I going to edit this? How? 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 how am I supposed to, bro? Like, episode by episode, I, like having discussions about the episode just becomes harder and harder with each episode. I, I, I just, okay. I I don't know where to start. I genuinely do not know where to start. Um. Okay. Um. Okay. All right. All right. Uh, I. Okay. 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 Let me get my bearings together real quick, cause that was a lot. That I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay. We are going to have to at least try to take this episode scene by scene. At least try. I'm not gonna promise anything. We're gonna try. So first of all, we start off where we left off. Um Grisha killing the royals, everybody except Rodriguez, which not really important right now. Grisha kills all the royals, and we get the whole "please stop Aaron" thing, which is when the, there's two kinds of errands that I had in my mind, right? All through watching Attack on Titan, there's two kinds of errands I had. There's the errand that is like, I am willing to sacrifice myself to become a martyr in order for the people of Eldia to be seen in a better light. Just for lack of a better term, that's the errand that it's one of the errands that I thought would exist. And then there's the other errand, which the one that I was correct on in my mind, is the errand that says, okay, if the world is my enemy, I'll just kill everybody. And to be honest with you, it reminds me of a conversation that I had with with one of my friends, that I remember the conversation stemmed from talking about Attack on Titan. And I probably talked about this before in Attack on Titan discussion, probably in the first part of season 4, but I'm going to bring it back up because it fits here. I remember a couple years ago, me and a friend finally got back into watching Attack on Titan. We had watched the first season. Everybody knows the story of how I got into Attack on Titan. Watched the first season for a little bit, wasn't into it, dropped it, got back into it like a year later. And my friend was kind of the same way. We watched it around the same time, we dropped it around the same time, and we got back into it around the same time. And we were talking about it because season 2 finally came out. I believe it was season 2. It was either season 2 or we finally got to season 3. And I don't remember what part of Attack on Titan we were on, but I remember it was a part in which we were talking about whether the world deserved to live. Because I think we got on the topic because I was like, yo, I feel like Aaron's gonna be a villain. And he was like, oh, word? You think so? I was like, yeah, he's definitely about to be a villain by the end of this. Like, and I don't mean like no like vigilante. Oh my god, how could you do this? I thought you were on the good side kind of villain, like the ones that we usually see. I was like, no, he's going to be a straight up war atrocity villain. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to this. We started talking about it, and around the same time, sounds really weird. This was around like the whole North Korea bomb threat thing. Like I said, this is about to be a weird tangent, but it's around the North Korea bomb threat thing, right? And then I was like, you know what? Now we're on the subject. You know what I think about that? Blow up everything. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, blow up everything. He was like, you mean like everybody? I was like, yeah. And he was like, why? I was like, think about it. Do you think the world would ever stop? Like, think about it. You think the world, what do you think would be the one thing that would stop the world from doing this type of shit? He was like, shit, if niggas was dead. I was like, exactly. Exactly. So we, on that topic and talking about Attack on Titan, I was like, I feel like the only way that Eren even stops this shit from happening, I don't remember if we were at this point where like the world being our enemy thing was a thing. It probably was, because that was like 3 years ago. So yeah, this was probably around that time where we learned that the world was our enemy. And I was like, the only way Eren does this is if he kills everybody. He can't talk with them. I'm sure he can't talk with them. I'm sure he can't talk with his people either. He would have to kill everybody. The only thing he could possibly do is kill everybody. And it's looking like he's about to kill everybody. Because the way that the Titans work in my mind is like each one is like a nuke to me. And if you have the launch codes, I'll let you figure that out for yourself. So back to the story, or to the show. We start off with Grisha and how amazing this scene was done. This scene was done perfectly. I love this scene. It shows the emotion behind Grisha. It pretty much redeems Grisha in a way by being like, he doesn't want to do this. This is not what he's not a bad guy. He does not want to do this. And at the same time, like we talked about in the last discussion, it also births the idea of Eren being the villain for real. So that's where we start off in this episode. A quick recap that pretty much reinstills the notion that Eren is about to do some horrible shit. Now, there's going to be a lot of reading in this discussion, because there was a lot of words being said. All right. So, Eren is saying we still haven't seen the part where I eat him, which is pretty much indicative that they had all the time in the world, and he was planning to show him damn near everything, right? And in this moment, you do see Eren as having the upper hand. We do, however, get reminded that Zeke is the one that has the power to command the Ymir. But this is where Zeke is wrong. Zeke is using, okay, we'll get there. This is where how Zeke uses his power is wrong. Okay, so Zeke is talking to Eren. He's like, yo, so it was you basically brainwashed Grisha into doing all this shit. Like, it was never Grisha. Like, why would you do all that, right? And after being fed up with Eren and all that shit, Zeke now basically commands. He's like, oh shit, Eren's about to do some horrible shit. Let me go ahead and pretty much do what he should have done a while ago. Let me go ahead. There's no saving the dude. I have to stop him now, because Grisha basically told him that he regretted it, right? So now his mission is no longer to save Eren, but to stop Eren. So now he pretty much shifts. He's like, okay, I gotta do this now. Hey, Ymir, I command you to make it to where all of Eldians can't have children. He commands Ymir, uses her power, and this is where I feel like Zeke's plan completely nosedived. Like, if it wasn't already nosediving, this is where Zeke's plan completely took the biggest nosedive in the world, and we were shown this in the next flashback of seeing Ymir's story. And that is because here's the reason why Zeke's plan takes a nosedive, because everybody has been using Ymir as if she was either a slave, a power, or a god. She was either a slave, a power to be controlled, or a god. And when Zeke commands her to euthanize Eldia, he's using her as a power to be controlled. The difference between Zeke and Eren realizes that Ymir is just a person. That's one thing that we have always had to battle with Eren with, where the closer to Yggdrasil and all this other shit that Eren got, we were like, is he a god now? And no, he's not. Eren has always just been, to Eldia, the closest thing to it. But Eren is still just a person. And Ymir's the same way. She is just a person. So for Eren to actually talk to Ymir and be like, and realize that Ymir is just a person that was calling out for help, this is where Zeke was wrong. This is where Zeke was pretty much took a complete nosedive in his plan. He basically set himself up to fail. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. We get a great shot of Eren basically degloving his hand, which is terrifying. If any, I hate that. It's very visceral, but it also shows how determined Eren is. And like I said during the episode, if it's a battle of wills, Eren is gonna win every time. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Zeke, Grisha, the original King Fritz. You're gonna lose every time. So, we then get Eren basically running towards Ymir and, you know, talking to her and all, or trying to talk to her or whatever. But after the OP, we get Krista, Historia, and Frida. And in this scene, I think this is hinting that the book that Historia has been reading was the book of Ymir, which makes sense for her to have, since she is one of the royals. And if any of the royals were going to be privy to having any type of books about the beginning times, basically, it would be the royals. Ymir would have like, you know, Ymir definitely would have the access to that type of book. So here's where we get into basically the more interesting things, right? We get the story of Ymir, which is something that I did not expect us to have. I expected us to talk to Ymir. I expected Eren to like try to get Ymir's attention, but I did not expect to finally get the story of Ymir. And the story of Ymir is honestly one of the most interesting things about this show. So we find out that Ymir is a slave, born a slave, or born a impoverished girl. We'll say that first, because we don't really know if she was a slave or not. But we do know that her land was taken, and her land was taken. Then she was turned into a slave. So she was born in a village, undisclosed, don't know where it is, what it is, doesn't matter. Born in a village, and her village was taken over, became a slave. And because Krista, Ymir was, as Frida said, a kind person who only thought of others. She thought of others before herself, and she was very just self-sacrificing in a way. it says even here, she's always thinking about other people because she's so kind, right? So very kind person, and basically the set up for the ultimate slave, somebody who is very self-sacrificing, very non-combative, and just, yeah, the ultimate slave, right? And absolutely horrendous shit going on here, like cutting out tongues, like just horrible. And in this story, we even get the King Fritz, who obviously that shows us the actual story of like who was the bad guy. Yeah, it was obviously Fritz. But Ymir being the ultimate slave pushes her towards this fate, right? Like it horrible. Ymir being the ultimate slave pushes her towards this fate because in a lot of ways, when you're this kind of a person, you're this much of a non-combative person, what you become is a doormat. And that's exactly what happened with Ymir. As soon as something went wrong, everybody's like, and it probably wasn't her. Who let the pigs out? I don't know. Like, it probably wasn't her, but it may have been her. It probably wasn't though. And everybody's like, nah, it was her, right? Because everybody knows that if we say it was her, what is she gonna do? Nothing, right? Which is what prompts them to kick her out, and you know, all that other stuff. All the rest of the shit is null and void to me. Here's why. Because what comes next is where we're about to spend most of our discussion. Ymir finds a flower. First off, Ymir finds a flower, and the flowers have been a very prominent thing for Attack on Titan. One of the most interesting parts of flowers being kind of in the vicinity of things that create Titans is in season 1, where Eren turns into a Titan to block the cannon fire, and I believe it was Armin who looked down, saw a flower, and was like, that wasn't there before. Or he was like, when did that get there? Something to that effect, right? And in the same thing, I don't think it's the same flower, but same thing happened here, where she trips, sees a flower, and it kind of signifies life in a way. Things like it's beautiful, you know, but there's blood on it and shit, and it's just, take what you will of that, right? Interesting thing here is when we find this tree. And it's a huge fucking tree. This thing is ginormous. This tree seems to be bigger than any other tree around them in there, you know. She wanders in there, and she seems to fall into some water. Here's where, like I said, here's where we will spend a majority of our time discussing things, right? And here's why. Because in this moment, I'm expecting one of two things. Actually, it could be both. One, she finds the devil of all earth in there. Two, she finds the source of all matter. And to be fair, she may have found both. Here's why I say this. Is because in this moment, I believe what she finds it in the water, and I'm trying to find the specific thing. Let me see if I can. She's basically in the water. She's drowning, and this is a weird place. I mean, this is a weird place for water, but whatever. And she finds this spinal looking thing, and it just basically attaches itself to her. Now, Two things. Two things. One, they're in the water. Two, this thing, this spinal thing, looks very familiar to me. You may be wondering. It's in anime. Like what this is a very mystical story that we're being told here. What's so familiar about this alien looking creature? A lot, actually. A lot is familiar about this thing. It looks like something from the Cambrian explosion. Specifically, it looks like an hallucinogena, I think it's called. I want to look it up, but I'm afraid to see like spoils in case like it has something like super important to do with the show. But it looks like something from the Cambrian explosion, specifically the hallucinogena. I don't know. Apparently, this was 2,000 years ago. So we could say that this is 2,000 years ago. But as I said, it looks like the hallucinogena specifically. Which is I don't know too much about it, but it's like a spiny, bulbous head looking aquatic. I don't even know if you can call it aquatic. It just was in the water. Kind of species, and specifically since it existed in the Cambrian explosion, this thing was one of the first. Now, I don't know how this thing turns her into a Titan, but the fact that this thing attaches itself to her, basically attaches itself to her and transforms her, I can only imagine this is where the point of contention, like, this is where the point of contention that creates Titans, Yggdrasil, and all the other stuff is created here. And the reason why is because since this thing is basically one of the first, something in its DNA is definitely different from any other creature. Something is very different and very much the same than any other creature that walks or flies around the earth in like regular times, like in modern times, and even in these times for Ymir's story or Aaron's story. This thing is very different. This thing's DNA is very different. Whatever this thing has in its DNA, which is, if you really want to get to know somebody's DNA, check their spine. This thing that attaches itself onto Ymir is, what I'm going to guess, is the source of all matter. Now, here's the thing: we don't have to know what exactly it is. It could just be modeled after the hallucinogena, simply because it's, like I said, it's one of the first. I don't know too much about the whole Cambrian explosion, but that's pretty much what it looks like. And if we were to go a little bit further, whatever the fuck Aaron turned into also looks like it. But yeah, so this is basically the source of all matter the something that she touches by complete chance, or pretty much, which is absolutely insane. So turns into a Titan, and is pretty much used for everything that we heard in the books. It is one thing to also say, or it is also one thing to point out that Ymir's like rib cage is out, or at least she seems to have a second rib cage that's outside of her body, which is probably the thing that attached herself to it. meaning that this thing is the reason why Ymir was special. Ymir herself was never special, and I think that's something that we've always known, but Ymir herself, this basically, the fact that this hallucinogena source of all matter thing attached itself to her tells us that Ymir was never special. Ymir was just a person, and that's something that we've gone through this entire show, trying to figure out when it comes to like Eren and Grisha. Like, these people have powers beyond the human comprehension, especially Eren, but they're just people. And I think that, once again, this loops back to the reason why Zeke's power, or Zeke's plan, the way he exacted his power was wrong, because he was using Ymir as a power to be, like, a power to be used, a power to be conquered, instead of an actual person, which this story basically tells us that she is. The hallucinogena thing that attached to herself is the thing that's special. That's the special thing. That's why she has the power. That's why when she dies and her bloodline is passed down, she's not passing down her normal, regular, schmegular human blood. She's passing down her normal, regular, schmegular blood that is mixed with this creature. It's the creature that lived on. It's the creature that keeps her alive. Now, once again, we don't have to really get into specifics of how this works. I don't expect to get into specifics on how this works, mostly because it's very hard to explain. You understand why we can't get into specifics on how this works. It doesn't need to be said. All we need to know is that this thing has otherworldly powers because it's one of the first things to ever exist, and there's something to be said because we're watching JoJo Stone Ocean right now, and it's kind of like in the same vein where a specific character was talking about how the universe began, and this specific character is not human. This specific character says that intellect itself existed way before the Big Bang, meaning that if intellect itself could exist, and we added that theory to Attack on Titan, this thing also has something a little bit otherworldly to it. Like, for this thing to be modeled off of something that basically came to Earth from the beginning of the universe. And once again, I don't know too much about the Cambrian explosion, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the theme that they're going with when it comes to this thing. This thing having the power, not just the power, but DNA that comes from something other. Like that, it's not human, it's not creature. This thing is otherworldly in the purest sense of the definition of the word otherworldly. This thing is actually otherworldly. This is like, when you really think about creatures like this, these were like aliens before aliens were aliens. So when, like I said, when she passed down this blood, it is simply the hallucinogena-esque thing mixing with her spinal fluid, her blood, her body. It's not her. Now, like I said, I'm saying all this because this is the reason why Eren gets to her. With her transcending time and all this other stuff with the power of this or the otherworldly creature, she herself is trying, I would assume that she herself is trying to call on somebody to help her, because why wouldn't a person ask for help in a situation where they are trapped in a place where time exists and doesn't exist and happens all in one instant, and you're spent eternity creating monoliths of fucking titans? Who wouldn't ask for help? You're a slave, which is why I call her the ultimate slave, meaning that she needed the ultimate freedom marauder to help her. She was searching through timelines, through just time and space itself, just trying to find somebody that would help her out of here. And then in a way, you can almost say that Attack on Titan is a story of Ymir as well. So, absolutely very interesting. Like, it's such an interesting thing for Attack on Titan to add. Like, here's the thing. In the beginning of Attack on Titan, I never expected Attack on Titan to come here. And I mean, to be honest, I never expected Attack on Titan to become a political drama, and then, you know, it went from like a horror to a shonen to a political drama to war atrocities to otherworldly. It's now it's a time traveling show, and now we're in like this sci-fi realm in which we're talking about the beginning creature, like the beginning of biology and what kind of information that thing holds. So what was I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Yeah, yeah, that it just makes sense why it worked better for Eren, because Ymir is just a person that by chance got attached to the beginning, basically the beginning. So, because, you know, we gotta move this along. It gets worse from here, because now, we basically get the beginning of the Eldian Empire, where they start to use Ymir as not only as a slave, but now as a warrior to help, you know, crush their enemies, cultivate roads. So everybody was right. I hate that. And here's the thing, that was the point of the show. Everybody was right. Everybody was right. Eldia, like New Age Eldia, said no, she was cultivating roads, and she helped, you know, fix people, and you know, she was out there, you know, she agriculture was going crazy because of her, and you know, the world was just a better place because she used her Titan powers to help out. And Marley was like, no, she was killing us. She was, they made us bear y'all's children, and they was raping us, and they was killing, and they was burning down people, and there was eugenics and like all this other shit. And yeah, both sides were right. Both sides, nobody was wrong. Yep, Ymir helped cultivate roads and agriculture, and everything was popping because of her. And yep, because of her bloodline, a lot of y'all got killed, raped, and murdered, and just horrible things happened to y'all. Both sides were right, and neither. Oh, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. What a good story. Oh, what a good story, bro. What a good story about just life and how it began. Society, life, and how it began. Insane, bro. Fucking sane. So yes, both sides were right. Yes, she was making a better place. Yes, her power was the reason that a lot of y'all got killed and other horrible things. But in the middle of both these truths is the one true truth, which is Ymir is suffering. She don't want to do this. She don't want to do this for real. because of the type of person that she is, she's gonna do it. You think she wanted to jump in front of that spear? Her body just did it because it's just the kind of person that she is. You think she wanted to murder all those people? She did it. She didn't want to do it, but she did it. Because that's we've already established that's the person that she is. You think that she wanted to cultivate these roads and buildings and all this other shit? Probably not for them. But she did it anyway. Because that's the type of person that she is. We were being told the story of the kindest person and the biggest slave on earth. And throughout all of that suffering, throughout all of that pain and slavery and forced labor and all this other shit, like she was forced to bear children by the king because she had that power. So in between all of this, the one truth, it don't matter whether you believe that there was more killing and raping on the Marleyan side, or that you believe that more good was done than all the killing and raping on the Eldian side. The one truth was that all through that, Ymir was suffering, and she was calling out for somebody to help her, but everybody was using her. It's crazy. It's crazy. We get some pretty much a montage of everything that Ymir has done. And we also see her bear these children. Now, I thought that she was going to bear 9. However, it seems that it's more or less that she bore I think like 3. And then I guess like all 3 were daughters, maybe? I don't know for sure. This is something that I would have to like rewatch. I think one was a boy, but I don't know. Who knows? Basically her descendants. And at the end of 1, Ymir's life, and 2, the king's life. This is real. Oh yeah, they are all 3 girls. Okay, cool. Ymir's life and the king's life. The king asked for some horrendous shit. The king makes his daughters eat their mother in order to gain her powers. Which, I mean, we haven't got into how they knew that, or they must have did tests and stuff. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, there's some things in Attack on Titan that don't need explaining. I don't care. Like, how does Jormungand work? Jormungand. Yggdrasil work? I don't care. How does the Titan power work? I don't care. What was that creature? I could probably tell you what it's supposed to be, but I don't care. How does this creature know? Have so much power within it? I don't care. And here's the reason why. Because in real life, we still don't have answers. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get the answer to that. We in outside of this anime, in real life, we don't know how time works. We don't know how that works. We have theories. We don't know how that works. In real life, how would we know that the actual hallucinogena didn't have super Titan powers if it attached itself to your spinal cord? I don't know. We don't know. We knew it was there. We have theories that it was there. I'm sure we have some type of proof that it was there. We don't know what it would have did if it attached itself to our spinal cord. So we don't need answers. Let's see. Jesus. we then get basically another I guess. Oh my god, hang on. Yeah, okay, hang on. We got to talk about this horrible thing that the king was saying. So, he said, "If my daughters die, feed their spines to my grandchildren." Let's see. If they die, feed their spines from child to child. And we're seeing like all of the titans, and oh my god, it's just insane. Meaning that, I mean, like he even said like he wanted Eldia to continue to be the better race. Obviously, we know we can now safely say that yeah, Eldia was supposed to be, yeah. He did all right. I'm glad we all know. But we get this not so much montage, but like scenes of Ymir creating these huge ass titans, which are the walls. Huge, the colossal titans that create the walls and all this other shit. And in this moment, I'm kind of realizing how tedious and horrifying that existence must be. I think that this scene itself is what drives home how horrifying Ymir's fate is. I think that's something that we've never really thought about. I mean, like up until now, because we're finally getting like actual information on Ymir. Like when Zeke was like, "Oh yeah, Ymir is you know, she creates titans all the time here," and I don't think we like really thought about like how. I mean, like we figured out like, oh wow, all the time, like that she just has to sit here and create titans. That's what she does. Create titans in people's bodies. Like when they die, that's what she does. She's now still a slave. Even after death, still a slave. Crazy. But I think this scene right here basically like just shows you how horrible, like, or at least drives home how horrible her fate is. How horrible of a fate she has being this slave to everybody still, to all of Eldia. To all of Eldia, she's still a slave, and it hurts to see. This really drove it home, and in the midst of that, just horrifying realization that she is just, and just seeing all the Jesus, bro, just seeing all of these huge titans. And her having to make all of them, and having, you know, the king saying, "Our titans shall reign supreme for eternity." I felt distraught for her, but we abruptly come out of that scene with Eren embracing her. That's the one thing. That's one thing. That's the first thing. Eren embracing her and saying, "I'll put it into this world. Give me your strength." Which nobody said before. Everybody's been talking, prolong it. Continue to give me your strength so I can prolong it. Make sure that you continue to do this so I can keep everybody doing this, you know? I can keep everybody under my thumb if you prolong giving me your power. Prolong it, you know? And Eren wraps himself around her and says, "I'll put it into this world." Basically saying, "I'll put it into your suffering. Give me your strength." And in this moment, I think this is where, even though throughout this entire episode we've been learning that Ymir is just a person, I think this is the moment where you drive the final nail in the coffin, because Ymir stops, and she realizes this person wants to save me. Yeah, he has his own motives, but this person actually wants to get me out of this eternal slavery that I've been living in. Let me see what else he says real quick. You're not a slave. You're not a god. You're just a nigga. Aaron's spitting. Aaron is spitting at this point, because this is what we've been trying to to explain to people for basically the entire show. Aaron, you're not a weapon. Reiner, you're not a weapon. Aaron, you're not a god. You know, Zeke, you're not a weapon. You know, all these people. Mikasa, you're not a weapon. You're not a god. Blah blah blah. Everybody has been assigned this. Everybody has been assigned a title that isn't just a person. All through this show, everybody's either been used as a weapon or seen as a god, with Yelena being like, yes, Zeke, our Lord and Savior. But all through this show, we've constantly seen Zeke. He's been showing human emotion. I hate my father because he wasn't there for me. I hate my father because he wasn't exactly there for me. I'm just a human. I'm just a person. That means that you, Sir Zeke, are also just a person. So, all through this, seeing, you know, like even Aaron, we must stop the devil of all earth. He is truly the devil. We have to stop him. That guy's horrible. We hate that guy. We hate that guy. He's horrible. That guy's the devil for real. Even I'm guilty of it. Of seeing everything that Aaron did and going, holy shit, he might become a god. Holy shit, he might become a devil. And the show in this moment reminds us, no. There are no gods. There are no devils. There are just people and other people that believe other people to be those two categories. And it brings us back to the one of the original themes of the show, especially when the show really started taking a turn for the mystical, is that anybody can be a god or a devil. People just have to believe it. And I love this scene because it brings us, quite literally, it brings us back down to earth. Chill out. Chill out. Nobody is. They're just people. And it's such a moving moment, honestly. It's such a moving moment. Aaron saying you don't have to bow to anyone. You can decide. Giving her the... How? When has she ever been told that? When? I guarantee you never. I guarantee you never. It's your choice. You get to choose. These are words that no one has ever said to her. Do you want to stay here for eternity, or should I end this? Giving her the choice. Zeke told her, euthanize them. There was no question. It was a period in front of that. Euthanize them. Anytime anybody in that, every fucking time. And like, think about it, through all of this this episode, hell, through all of the show, but we'll specifically talk about this episode. The juxtaposition of what everybody else is saying and what Aaron is saying is so different, just simply in the sentence structure. Ymir, go euthanize them. Ymir, bear my children. Ymir, build this road. Ymir, go kill them. There was, even in the down to the sentence structure, how many times has a question mark been used? And I know y'all read the subtitle faster than me, goddammit. So I know y'all know this. Not one goddamn question mark was used. The one time the question mark was used, even remotely towards Ymir, who let the pigs out? Because one of y'all is about to lose an eye because of it. And that's the one time that they was like, yeah, it was Ymir. Yeah, focus on Ymir. One question. One question. Who let the pigs out? Who let the pigs get away? Because y'all about to get it for that. Other than that, who has ever asked a question? There were no periods in this. When he was directly talking to Ymir, there were no periods in this. It was question marks. Anytime he used a period, it was giving her the power. You choose. Question or period. Do you want to stay here for eternity, or should I end this? Question mark. It is, and there's a lot of things in this show that probably aren't exactly there's a lot of things in this show that aren't exactly like, it's art, you know? It's up for interpretation. I'm like, a lot of things in the show, I'm sure that Isayama wasn't like, yeah, I'm going to specifically make sure that no one ever asks her a question. They like, did he specifically make it like that? Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. But I know that like, as art, and as one of the best pieces of art I've ever seen, that is what I'm getting out of this. Who's asking her a question? Nobody. Not one person. Not one person. Eren damn near might be the first. He might be the first. At least he might be the first in real world time, thousands of years. Her time, millennia. Like, and I think even thinking about it like that really puts it into perspective. Imagine going a millennia either doing what people told you or being forced to do everybody's bidding. Never being asked a question. Just, this is what you're gonna do for a millennia, for thousands of years in real world time, in a millennia in your time, and probably longer because time doesn't exist there. And for one person to be like, let me ask you, what do you want to do? Nigga, I'm not surprised that she wasn't hearing not a damn thing that Zeke was saying. If I went that long with everybody telling me what the fuck to do, and one person was like, hey bro, so what you want to do? Fuck what they saying. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. It's such a power. Like, looking back at it, even though I watched it not too long ago, looking back at it is such a powerful scene to give her that type of choice. It's insane. And even Zeke, now I'm reading this through, even Zeke says, Ymir, obey my command. I said make Eldians unable to reproduce. Ridiculous. Here comes Eren with another question. Were you the one who led me here? And here, that's it. Ymir has been asking for help for millennia. And everybody that comes here is just do your bidding, or do my bidding. What? You've been waiting this whole time. Just insane. For 2,000 years for someone. Just for someone to help. At the end of it, it was Ymir just asked. This entire show can almost be boiled down to Ymir asking for help. and nobody hearing her. I uh, the reason why like this like that is like that makes me so emotional to think about. It kind of reminds me of, and I know I feel like people hate it when I do this thing where I'm like, yo, it reminds me of this one show I watched. But it reminds me of a specific scene. Of, I don't know how many people have watched the Haunting of Hill House. And once again, you know, it sounds like it has nothing to do with this, but I don't know how many people have watched the Haunting of Hill House. I guess spoiler alert. There's a character that is pretty much dead. They're dead, and nobody can hear her. And there's an episode where she is just like sitting there as everybody's arguing and demanding things of other people, and she's just trying to like nobody can hear her. She doesn't have any input or anything like that. It's just nobody can hear her. And it is one of the saddest and heartbreaking moments I've ever seen in television. And it's one of the reasons why I cannot watch The Haunting of Hill House without crying. Because that scene will always come up and I will always start crying. Because it is the saddest thing in the world for people to, and even that show has something to do with like time and stuff like that. So I feel like she would be in the same position as Ymir in a way, where you're sitting there for however long time passes in your realm, and you're asking for help, and you're crying for help, and nobody can hear you. And it is the saddest thing. Like that. This is why I say, like, when it comes to a show, there has to be more. Like, just killing somebody can be sad. Don't get me wrong. Sasha died. I was distraught. Hell, when Carla died, I was distraught. Hans died. I was distraught. But you gotta have something a little bit more than that to like truly drive home how sad your story is. I always say that just because somebody died doesn't mean that it's sad. I refuse to be sad from a show that simply draws upon its despair and sorrow from just people dying. Yes, there can be nuance to deaths that make it sad, and like that's what can like tug on your heartstrings. But what makes a show elite when it comes to like sadness, despair, just depression, is when you can have something other than just somebody dying and it still be sad. This Ymir died, sure, whatever. I wasn't sad about Ymir dying. That's horrible. I mean, it's horrible, you know, but I'm not sad about that. What am I sad about? The fact that after she died, she had to stay here and do everybody's bidding, continue to be a slave, and nobody could hear her crying for help. Hell, us as the viewers didn't hear her. We haven't heard Ymir say a damn thing. But that doesn't mean she's not crying for help. And Eren being the one person to come to her and say, I got you. I'm gonna put a stop to this. Now, granted, we got to get into what Eren's doing for a little. We like don't get twisted. This discussion been going on for a while, but we still gotta get on to what Eren's doing. Granted, what Eren's doing is some shit, but we gonna talk about it. But Eren coming to her and say, "I'll stop it." You got a choice. I'll stop it. You don't gotta be. You don't have to be a slave. It insane. And we finally see Ymir's like eyes, and she is crying. She is crying because I would cry too. It's such an amazing scene. And we see this. Here's where we get into what the fuck Eren's doing. We see this hallucinogena thing sprout out from Eren's head. And I don't know what the fuck this is. And it looked like it swallowed Zeke or something. I don't know what it just did, but it did something to Zeke. Or maybe that was just it transforming. But dear fucking God, this is where the discussion becomes erratic, if it wasn't already, and disturbing. Because fuck, I already knew that the rumbling had to happen. There was no way the rumbling wasn't going to happen. But what the fuck is this? The rumbling was already scary enough. I knew when the rumbling would happen, I'd be scared. I was like, yo, once the rumbling happened, it sounds cool. It looks like really cool. I was like, oh fuck, yeah, this is so fucking cool. But I'm terrified. I knew this was going to be a terrifying scene. But what the fuck is this? And everybody's, and I love the way that they did this because everybody's looking in horror. Like, this scene of the transformation is terrifying. Like, what the, now I gotta read this. Hang on. I gotta read this. Okay. And it's talking about the thing. Information available for public disclosure. The origin of the Titans. According to the legend, the founder Ymir obtained the power of the Titans when coming into contact with something. For generations, her blood and power were passed down by the Eldians. However, the identity of that something, which began it all. Wait, what? The identity of that something which began it all remains unknown. It may have been some type of pathogenic parasite, a god who pitied the founder Ymir and gave her power, or something else entirely. Right. So basically what we just said, we don't know what it is because we can only guess what it is modeled after, which is something that came from the beginning. So basically what they're saying is it could be a pathogenic parasite. It could be just a parasite. It could be a god, or it could just be something. And here's the thing, I'm more on the scale of it being just something, because not to get back on this conversation too much, but I'm more on the scale of it just being something because of what it's modeled after and what it's like doing in the story, because it's modeled after something that basically came from a phenomenon that is damn near unfathomable to human comprehension. It's above human comprehension. Like, we understand it to be something, we just don't exactly understand it. So yeah, which is insane. I mean, like, who would have guessed? So let's get back to the terrifying part of this episode. What the fuck is this? What is this? And it looks, oh my fucking God. What is that? And this shot is insane. I mean, Mappa, well fuck. Can we, real quick, Mappa, well fucking done. Well fucking done. Every scene that has been, like, I know niggas have been cooking Mappa, especially last year. Niggas were cooking Mappa. I didn't think it was very fair. I didn't think it was warranted. But niggas were cooking Mappa. I thought last part was very good. Well animated. Really good. I get that people don't like CG. I get that people get a little bit triggered when they see that. But well fucking done for at least this second part. Because every scene that is supposed to evoke some type of emotion, every scene that's supposed to be really important, they knock it out the motherfucking park. This scene of seeing like colossal titans destroying everything. And what the fuck is this? What is that? Like, that's just all I'm gonna say. Like, as long as every time I see, what is that? That is terrifying. I don't know what, like, that is terrifying. That is the most terrifying thing I have seen in anime. I swear, what the fuck is that? And the answer is Aaron. What the fuck is that? Oh God. Okay. This scene was done phenomenally. Seeing the final Titan is what I'm going to call it. The final Titan call upon the rumbling, and it is, oh my God, it is terrifying. So we get this, and then we have Armin be like, yo, I knew we were right. We won. He's gonna do the rumbling. People are gonna be scared, and they're gonna leave us alone. You know, it's gonna be fine. We were right about Eren. I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, like, we won, but I don't think you understand to what extent we won, Armin. Because here's the thing. I'm looking around like, that's a lot of Titans, Armin. And they coming from all walks of Eldia. They're coming from all walks of parody. And I think, and Armin starts to realize, he's like, that's a lot of fucking time. Hang on now. Because we only needed like a section of the wall. Them niggas coming from all the way back in the back. Why are they coming from the back of the back? So now we realize he's using it all. He's using everything. He's not just using one section. He's like, okay, let's make sure them niggas know what time it is. He's using everything. He is making sure, and this goes back to what I was saying. My original thought, that my original plan for Eren was to just kill everybody and make sure nobody, because here's the thing, who's going to stop? That brings me back to my original point. Who's going to stop? Nobody. Brings me back to my original point. How do you stop people that won't stop? You kill them all. And that's Eren's thought. Like, that's Eren's plan, because we even heard it in the last episode. If somebody threatens my freedom, I'm just gonna take it from them. Yeah, that's what he's doing here. In retroactive, like, not even retroactively, like in a parallel, like, in a way that's parallel to this plan, he's also getting rid of all the walls. This is freedom. This is freedom. It may be horrible. It may be a horrible way to obtain it. But this is freedom. This is literally what freedom looks like. I just... Oh my God, that's insane. That is insane. I love the fact that I also love the tiny detail that, like, there are so many of them out there and everything is going so insane that they're Armin and Mikasa are like this, trying to talk to each other, and they can't hear each other. That, like, just the tiny details of showing you how insane this plan is and how, like, horrible the destruction is going to be. They can't hear each other. Mikasa and Armin are basically kissing, and they can't hear each other. Insane. The final thing that we'll talk about here on this very, very long discussion. This is probably, I think this is the longest discussion I've ever had in the history of my channel. And there's probably a lot more that, like, I almost thought, like, I was like, yo, we might have to add like more to this, but like the final thing that we'll add to this discussion is Aaron speaking to all Eldians. This solidifies it. This solidifies it. Aaron is quite literally, he is ascended. He has ascended in the place of Ymir in order to exact his final revenge. And it's so cool. It's so cool the way this is done. Once again, bravo Mappa. The way this is done is insane. Hear me, subjects of Ymir. We'll just read this out and we'll talk about it as it's going on. This will be the last thing that we talk about. My name is Aaron Yeager. I'm using the Founding Titan's power to address all of the subjects of Ymir. I've undone the hardening of Paradis Island walls. And the Titans buried within. Which is also, hang on, real quick, can we talk about this? The Titans buried within have begun their march. Now, I don't think this is something that was ever like specifically confirmed, but this is just to like get perspective on the scale of what's happening here. People always said that there was like tens of millions of Titans, right? And a lot of people were like, nah, that's a bit of a stretch, right? Even though they were saying, and I believe that's a bit of a stretch, but I also don't believe there's as little as other people think. Because here's the thing. For one, the walls are huge. They are huge. Two, if you remember a couple seasons ago, there was a story about a digger, a miner or something like that, who dug far below the walls. And this may just be their hardening, but this also may just be like putting into scale how big the rumbling is about to be. He dug far below, like he was going to dig under the walls and leave that way. But he continued to dig and just found more wall. Meaning that correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, I don't know, but they are possibly, and this is something that I've always thought like there are Titans underground as well. There are colossal Titans underground as well that could possibly just come up out of the ground and just start fucking shit up. So that, yeah, when they said tens of millions, I didn't exactly think that. Like, I was like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot, but I don't put it past them. Simply because of, I don't know how far down those walls go. And you would think, here's one thing that we always thought, how do you get those people underground? How do you get these people to create the wall, and how do you get these people to create the wall underground? Easy. Ymir's the one making them. We saw it. Ymir's the one that's making them. It wasn't manually placed. Ymir was making them. So it's not a far-fetched thing to say, oh yeah, like that they're underground too. Now granted, I might be wrong, they just aren't, and there's just like hardening, like going underground, but like, yeah, I also might be right, and they're underground too. Let's get back to it. My goal is to protect the people of Paradis Island and the place I was born. And everybody's here. Holy shit, bro. It's so amazing to see this. However, the world wants to exterminate my people, and not just on the island. And we even see, like, he's talking to people on, holy fuck, he's talking to people even in Marley, because I just saw Annie's dad. Holy fuck, that's insane. They will not stop until every last subject of Ymir is dead. I refuse to let them. The Titan, oh my god, and this shot is insane. The wall Titans will trample every inch of the world beyond this island. Jesus Christ, this shot of Aaron's Titan is insane. Until every last life beyond our shores is wiped out. That is, nigga. When I tell you that this show is the fucking truth, this show is the fucking truth. I am not, dog. This show is a godsend. A godsend. That final shot of Aaron, it's grungy, it's dirty, it's gross, it's disgusting. It doesn't match anything that we've seen in the anime thus far. And like animation wise, we've never seen anything like that. Where have we ever seen something like that? Never. Never. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So, to conclude this extremely long discussion that made this video almost reach 2 hours. Aaron's plan is simple. If the world is my enemy, I will kill every single one of them. Everybody. Every life outside of these shores. I just want to live here with my people. And honestly, if I'm being quite frank with you, not a bad idea. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, what? How could you? You would kill all life on Earth. Yes. Because here's the thing. Once again, who's going to stop? How do you stop somebody that won't? And that goes for Aaron too. How do you stop somebody that won't? You kill them. So yes. Yes. This is about to become one of the if people survive this, which I doubt they will, but if people survive this, this will put the world into perspective of how horrible hate can turn the world, like how dark the world can become off of hating people. And it reflects on our own society. Think about the way that I see, like I said, the way that I see Titans are like nukes. In the middle of like the nuclear scare, like back in the day, the idea was that everybody was just gonna set them bitches off. But do you know how dark the world would have been if people did that? Do you know what kind of world we live in if people did that? And if we survived, and if we somehow, by the grace of the pathological or pathogenic god Cambrian explosion thing that's up there, we survived, or a bit of us survived, we would have a completely new outlook on life. So while yes, what's happening right now is a horrible thing, it's valid. I will say that. It's not a great plan. Killing all life on Earth, not a great plan. But it's valid. Like I said, it goes back to my original conversation I had with that friend. How do you stop people? You kill everybody. Is it a good plan? No. Is it a evil plan? Not exactly. But it's valid. It's valid. So this is a GOAT show. This is a masterpiece. And we still have more to go. That's the wildest part. We still have more to go. This is episode 5. Yeah, this is episode 5, I think. 4 or 5 out of the 12 that we probably have in total. So there's 7 more. I don't know what the fuck happens then. Don't even expect me to know. But I'm ready to see it. That's what I'll tell you. I'm ready to see it. So, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more Attack on Titan, something totally different, the best place to send that in is always my social media. Links are going to be in the description below. And if you want these, or if you want the full reaction to these episodes, you can subscribe, or you can subscribe to my Patreon. Links going to be below for that as well. Jesus Christ, if you got this far into the video, wow, you damn, you're a beautiful person and have a lot of time on your hands, such as I. So yeah, as always, get out of here for this video. Actually, it turns into a 2-hour video. You all stay amazing, stay safe, and love somebody within our walls.